now? Okay. Alright, y'all, it's Sam and my lovely assistant Jacob, who's agreed to help me make this video, which he's very nice to do. And the Arduino project that I'm showing today is the laser Theremin, which is right here. And so basically, for y'all that don't know, a theremin is just it's a device, a musical instrument that is affected by your hand's length from a source. So like moving your hand over, in a typical analog theremin, a plate in this case, the laser activates a note, and then you can move your hand further or closer to a certain source, which affects the pitch of it. And so that was the idea here. So what I've created, and you'll see right here is, if you guys check it out, that we have 3 laser beams hitting 3 photocells over here, in addition to this little black thing up here, which is an infrared detector. And basically, so only one of these lasers is being used right now, actually the middle one. The 2 additional beams will be used eventually to make a laser harp, but that requires a little more machinery that I don't have, and also a little more time, which I don't currently have. So yeah, onward to how this thing works. Basically, over here on my circuit board, we have a little, a somewhat messy looking circuit, and that's actually 3 repeated of the same circuit, one for each laser beam. And basically, what we use there is an op-amp circuit. So the photocells over there are connected to, like your camera work, Jacob, are connected in to the positive side of an op-amp, whereas we have a potentiometer for each circuit over here, which is connected to the negative side. Essentially, there's some other resistor involved, but that's basically what we need to know. And so, using the potentiometer, we can affect it so that the output of the op-amp, we can get it so that it's very, very close to 0, and which is signified by this LED right here. The orange LED right there, each LED, the green, red, and orange, correspond to different laser beam circuits. But so, since we're only using one, we only need to consider the orange one. And that basically signifies right now that this op-amp circuit we've created is putting out a high. But I've tuned the potentiometer so that it's like only just barely putting out a high. And so what that means is that when we block the laser that's shining on the photocell resistance will go up. Because the photocell is a resistor whose resistance depends on how much light is incident upon it. So when we block the beam, as I'm going to do right now, you can see that the light is going to turn off. So if you want to point at the LED, there is on, and now if I block it, it goes off. And so what that's going to do is that sends a message to the Arduino over there, digital image, which is then going to, based on the code that I've written, is going to send a note on signal to the MIDI. MIDI is just like the music software that I'm using for this. And so basically then what happens then is this activates also that the IR sensor begins working. And so that is plugged into an analog input in the Arduino, which basically senses the relative distance of your hand from the IR sensor. So we block the beam, the note turns on, I start moving my hand back and forth, the IR sensor gets different values, and the pitch that we get is dependent upon distance from the IR sensor, and that's how we create the theremin effect. And so that's all encoded in the Arduino code. The Arduino does all of that for us, which is awesome, just like mapping function. There's a Stephen Hobley does like a laser harp, and I tried to kind of base mine off of his, but fortunately his uses a serial, like a direct import into like a MIDI jack, which I don't have. So I downloaded this serial to MIDI converter, which can be found online, which is currently running right now. And so the code is not quite as great, and in addition, my music software that I have is like the Windows synth crap, which is really, really bad. And so I can only get like piano notes. So basically, it's just very quickly repeated piano notes that I've tried to delay enough where you can understand, or you can catch different frequencies. So now I'm going to turn the volume. We're running the code and the serial to MIDI converter right now. And so I'm going to show, if we turn these speakers, hopefully y'all can hear this. So when I break the beam, start getting what sounds like piano keys and different notes. And as I move my hand up and down, the pitch changes.
You want to try to turn it up some?
Yeah. So as we continue to move hand up and down, it changes in pitch, which is pretty cool. The end goal is that all of these 3 laser beams will have different photocells and different IR detectors, and so bending each one can create different notes, and so you can kind of play like simple songs on it. But that's later, when I have more time and more machinery. So yeah, that's it for the laser theremin. That's my Arduino project. Peace out.